You ever just lick your balls?
Every now and then.
Anthony, you look dead, and I didn't think you were gonna answer because you look dead. That's so
Has
funny.
been taken care of for now.
Edward, do you ever lick your balls?
All right, so this week, obviously, since like the lack of movies because of COVID, we decided to look at a little bit more recent movie that we all have not seen, and that is Knives Out, directed by Ryan Johnson, starring a bunch of different people: Chris Evans, Daniel Craig, Jamie Lee Curtis, Catherine Langford, Ana de Armas. Basically, a movie about a wealthy family whose father mysteriously died one night, and this was such a joy to watch.
It is such a good movie.
All right, so first off, before any movie, we get into our little 3-word, not summary, but like, well, how would we describe it in 3 words? So, do you want to start us off, Anthony?
Who's the killer? That's my 3 words.
Okay.
No, I don't know.
Pretty
I don't think that's a good one, but you may come back to me, but go ahead.
Self-explanatory. Edward?
Best plot twist.
Okay. And then also pretty self-explanatory. And is great recent mystery because I don't remember.
Wow, that's
mystery.
pretty self-explanatory now.
I know, but I don't remember the last like recent mystery movie that I like, really liked.
This was better than any of the Sherlock Holmes movies that have come out, dude.
Yeah, it was really good. It wasn't like, I don't know how to describe it. They didn't go at it where the whole movie was super serious. Like, it was all about the investigation. It was all about, we have to figure out, like, they did do it like that, but they did it in a way that was like lighthearted, you know? Like, does that make sense?
They weren't super aggressive. Like, they kept you at the edge of your seat the whole time.
Right.
What? Because and they didn't throw everything at you. It was like very little bits and pieces of details.
Mm-hmm.
And it was lighthearted for a mystery movie, and I loved it because it wasn't dark. That's the word. It wasn't like a dark mystery, you know?
Yeah, because everything took place during the day. Like, the investigation took place during the day, but the actual stuff happened at night. That was like most movies. Like, the investigation somehow is always nighttime. It's raining. It's a dark, stormy day. Wah. This time it was just like, oh, every morning they're just going to keep building onto their story. It was good.
Yeah. Do y'all want to explain it?
I mean, we can't really explain a mystery movie.
I think so. Okay, so basically how it started is there's this one guy who owns, and like he has a huge fortune, like big house, hold on. Successful company.
Stop. Noah's dead.
So it basically starts out, there's this guy, he has a huge fortune, you know, like big house and everything. And he owns a really successful publishing company. I think that's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so he dies unexpectedly one night. So obviously someone hires a detective to kind of find out. It was ruled as a suicide, but somebody thought that it was a murder. So we don't know who hired the investigator, but somebody hired the investigator. We don't find out who it was until the very end.
I think I think that's one of the greatest things about this movie is, like, in the beginning you start trying to single people out, but then the story, like, the police officers say, well, like, the police officers are so logical, like, well, all the stories check out, and then all of a sudden he's like, well, I don't even know who hired me, so we're just as an audience, we're just kind of stumped. We're like, what happened?
Everything lines up to prove that it was a suicide. Like, nothing's out of place in the beginning.
Yes.
Like there's nothing to go off of.
It's not an easy thing to, like, just solve.
But it kind of turns into a huge fight because obviously since he's the owner of everything, of all this fortune, and it's kind of the whole thing. Everyone involved with all the main characters are his kids, like his family. So obviously they want to know the will, like what he wrote in his will, who gets what, and kind of in order to do that, we have to figure out if it was murdered or if it was a suicide or whatnot. So it just kind of follows the investigation.
And then it turns into that stereotypical, like, the family is really greedy, but it turns out like the head of the family is actually not.
What? No, don't go too far, Jesus.
Yeah, that might be a spoiler.
No, I mean, there's a reason
he
was killed. I don't think that's a spoiler.
Right.
It's tricky with the mystery movie giving a spoiler-free review. Especially one that didn't involve a whole lot of.
We say that about every movie.
Well, this one didn't.
Like every single week, we're like.
Well, like before, I could at least.
I don't think we should do a spoiler-free review. But
I just don't think we should be doing one at all. But,
yeah,
it's hard. But
yeah, I understand.
A lot of like other movies, there's like technical stuff to talk about, but there's not in this one. Like
this one goes for the old school vibe.
Yeah, this one was very just straightforward with the way it was filmed.
Back in the day.
I love how I feel like not very many movies still do this. I feel like it's common in like probably mid 2000 movies or early 2000s, but well, I guess we are mid 2000. But anyways, I love the storytelling. How one person will be telling a story and then it jumps to them acting it out. You know, like them going into that story. You know, like when what's her name?
I know what you mean.
What's the main character?
Like a flashback scene.
Marta.
Yeah, when she was telling her story, and then it like actually went back as a flashback. I love that.
It gives you a good perspective from the characters.
Right. I love the way they did it.
I feel like it was because it was necessary here to portray the detective's point of view. Because if they wouldn't have done that, he would have been like, I just had to get a clear picture, and we wouldn't have had a clear picture ourselves because we're not the super genius detective that he was supposed to be, you know?
Yeah. I love the way they executed it. Okay, for like a really good example, there's this one scene, I won't say what it is, but there's this one scene where the detective is going to question somebody. So he flips a coin, and then it goes to her basically explaining all of it.
In her head.
In her head. But I thought it was she was explaining it to him, but then it goes back and the coin is still falling.
Yeah.
So it's like really cool. She kind
of separated herself from reality and thought about like exactly what she needs to say.
And it flowed really well.
Yeah.
I'll touch more on that later because you kind of like half explained it wrong, but I can't correct you without giving it away.
Okay.
But yeah, the main premise is there. I can't even.
If you don't go for,
I can't even tell you what makes this movie one of the better mystery movies ever made. Like I can't. I wish I could tell you like right now. Like it is a bold claim, but I'm willing to back it up.
Well, I think one of the biggest reasons for me, at least, just one of the reasons, is like I said earlier, it's not like a gimme mystery. Like you can't just go down the line and be like, oh, it was him. Oh, no, it was him. Like you absolutely have no clue until the end. It seemed like.
Yeah.
And then, God, this was such a joy to watch. The story was really like incredible, and I love the main character. Like if you just want to see all these actors doing you can just go for that. Like their acting was really good. Like I love Daniel Craig's character. Yeah. He played the detective. Chris Evans was really good. Ana de Armas was really good for her main role. And it was just crazy to see how they all interacted with each other. They played their roles really well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I love the accent.
Yeah.
I always love his accent.
Yeah, they did good accents for the time being.
At first, I was really confused what accent he was coming with whenever he started talking, because I was like, expecting his British accent to come out. And then
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
is that British? I was like, no, that sounds Australian. Then like the next scene, he hits me with the biggest yeehaw sounding voice I've ever heard. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that's where we're going with it. I was expecting his James Bond voice, but that was not what I got.
Sorry, I'm trying to think of that because that's about it without any spoilers.
Yep.
It's just a great mystery movie. Probably one of the best mystery movies I've ever seen.
That's.
I'm willing to give it the best.
Call.
Yeah. Where
Wow.
would you go with your ratings, boys? Leave these guys on a high note.
I'm gonna give it a 9. Easy 9.
Okay.
Dang.
If
Y'all are rating something high for me. Like, that says something. Because I rate movies high. But if I think y'all are rating them high, dang.
We'll talk about it then after.
Yeah, I mean, this was
we
an
get to the
easy
spoiler
9.
review, Anthony. Yeah, I agree. I was gonna give it a 9 too. I have one little thing, but I'll explain that later.
Well, mine's an easy 9,
Okay.
bordering a 10. Like, mine's
I mean,
a high 9. It's not even like a low, barely 9.
I'll give it a 9.
What were you gonna give it? You said we were higher than you.
Well, no, I was just thinking about it.
Oh, okay.
I think I'll go with
I was like,
nine.
what are you gonna give it? Like an 8. Okay, so unanimous 9s. That's very good. Certified fresh by the Hooligans. And so now, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you're on YouTube, and give us a rating on whatever Apple Podcast, Spotify, whatever you are on, and we'll be able to give you more quality content as these weeks go by and you watch us more and more. And make sure you say hi to your moms for us. And yeah, that's about it. We'll see you later, but you can stick around for the spoiler review if you would like. So yeah, see ya, non-spoiler review people. Bye. Okay, so first let's talk about what knocked the score from a 10. If you'll have anything at all. If it was just a 9, then it's just a 9. But
I don't know what a 10 is, in my opinion, so I can't give it a 10.
a flawless movie.
Yeah.
Like you have no cons about it.
I mean, there's a bunch of movies I don't have cons about. I don't have anything bad about this one.
I don't take issue
But
with
it's a 9.
anything really in this movie.
I don't take issue. This is it's just picky. Like I don't really like care about it, but like when you think about it, I just think it's kind of comical. I thought it was just funny how convenient it was that the main character like throws up when she lies.
Yeah.
I thought that was
Like
very.
I don't take issue with it. Like I said, like it's not a big issue to me. I just thought that was something that was like a bit of an outlier.
I don't think that was
It's
an
kinda
issue at
cheesy.
all. I think it was probably the most clever plot device that they could have put in there. Like that's
Oh no, I thought it was
super
clever. I just thought it was
super original, and it made it feel fresh. Like it gave it its own, like think of suspense, right? Like she could hide it for some of it, right? So anytime that
yeah.
it kept us confused about what was going on, because there would be times where she would say something and it would sound convincing, and she wouldn't throw up at first, and like 10 minutes later she'd just randomly vomit, and you're like,
Yeah, what I liked about it though was how she they asked her about like what happened and she didn't, and she figured out a way to like get around a lie. Like she just did little bits and pieces of the truth. She didn't have to like technically lie about her story. I thought that was cool.
Anthony, you said we rated it higher than what you thought. Why was that?
No.
Or higher than you
I always
expected
rate.
us.
Yeah.
Or did you expect us to go lower? Is that why you said that?
Yeah, I expected y'all to go lower because I rated it a 9, and I always rate movies high compared to y'all. So if I thought it was a 9, I thought y'all would think it was a 7 or 8.
Yeah.
Nah, bro, this was a fantastic movie.
Yeah, it was
Going back to
great
correct
movie.
what Anthony said earlier, you know how you were like you didn't know if like she was actually spilling her guts and stuff like to them when the coin was flipped?
Yeah.
Well, they did that with every character's introduction. Like every time they would have evidence against him, it would show what actually happened, and then they would tell a lie out of their mouth.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, you're right.
They did that with
Dang.
everyone. So not a single person told them the truth, but it
Right.
showed us what actually happened. So we knew what happened.
Yeah, you're right. Whoa.
But the detective didn't, yeah.
But the
That's cool.
detective didn't, except for the super smart one who had everything figured out, apparently, or 90% of it from the beginning.
Right.
Okay.
He was
How
like,
the
oh,
heck
I
did
knew.
he figure that out at the end? How did he do that?
He said
He's
how
smart,
he did.
dude. What do you mean?
He gave
Yeah, he
like the
did.
ultimate breakdown.
He gave his whole monologue, yeah. He
No,
knew.
I don't know how he knew, how he came up with
He told
like
us
the
how he
idea.
knew it.
It was all of the
I don't know.
evidence.
He
got all
figured
the
it
evidence
out
from every
whenever the
single-
blood work came back and she was fine, and he was like, "This is what happened."
I know. I'm just saying I would not be smart enough to connect that many pieces together and
Right?
figure it out like that. That's just crazy. That's crazy.
Which
Okay, so
that was such a great twist. The way they how she actually gave the right amount of
Yeah.
injection into
this
him.
is why I said this
That was
was
also so sad, though.
the best plot twist. Okay, it was because this did something no mystery movie I think has done and executed good before. And they made the first person you would suspect to be the murderer. And they covered it up so well that you almost forgot that he was the first person you suspected, and then came back and made him the murderer.
Well, I never suspected him.
No, I did because
No,
I was wondering why he. I was like, well,
That's-
I was like, he's the last one. He's the one that threatened Harlan. He's the one that he's the only family that left. And then that girl, the old lady, I thought it was weird that she said, "Ransom, you're back again." I thought that was weird the whole time, but then they steered it so far away from him, and they made him look like he was actually helping the girl that it was like out of his hands.
That's what I mean. And I think Anthony didn't suspect him because out of his mind, he knew that he was super, like, blatantly obvious for screaming. I'm, like, threatening him, like, oh, they're just doing that to throw the audience off.
I didn't suspect him because they told us it was Marta from the beginning.
Oh, you went with it.
Yeah, I assumed it was her the whole time.
That's what was crazier though, was that like we said, like we were going with the investigators and everyone else's like stories, what they showed us, it all checked out. They were all there, like nobody was up there with him, and that's what was suspicious about him, was he was the only one that left. But they steered so far away that there's a point where I had no clue like who it could have been. Like I was just like, I honestly have no idea.
See, that's crazy to me because the whole time I thought I knew it was Marta and that I was just waiting for her. I was waiting for the ending to show how she's going to get out of it. That's just what I was waiting. I wasn't waiting for them to show us who the real murderer was.
I mean, like they showed it was like a quote unquote accidental, like she accidentally inject him, but it's like it's crazy because she's just like such a good person.
Yeah, that's why I didn't believe that she did it for a second. Like I was like, "There's no way."
I didn't believe it at all.
And
there's no way such a good person like her.
It just did
Well,
such a
you
great
just said
job
it was an
of
accident,
throwing
so
the audience off. Well, yeah, but the way they kept the story progressed, because they could have called it there and called it the end, but the fact that the blackmailing kept coming back, that's what kept me thinking, like knowing in my head that she didn't do it because there was someone coming after her.
That doesn't make sense. I don't know.
Well, there is that,
I think
and then the whole part of the plot where no one knew who hired them, it would make no sense if it was an accidental death for someone to hire a PI on the low.
That's true.
And if she was the only one that knew that she injected him with that.
Yeah, exactly. It would have made zero sense.
What was crazy to me was whenever it showed that scene and I was like, oh shit, she's the one that acts like, but it was an accident. I was like, she's the one that killed him. But then the man was like, okay, I don't want, like, he's such a good person. He was like, I don't want you in trouble. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. You're going to cover it up. And I was like, oh my gosh.
Bro, this was the most, like, heartfelt movie, like, ever. Like, it had you rooting for the killer. Like, that's how good of a movie it was. And,
I felt
this
so
was
bad.
another movie where it was like The Invisible Man, where it just had lots and lots of foreshadowing and callbacks. Like how whenever he was in the room, like in his last moments talking to Marta, and he was like, that boy reminds me so much of me. He can never tell like a real knife from the theatric knife. And then at the end, it comes back and he tries to kill her with a theater prop knife.
And it's a fake knife. Yeah, no, I caught
like that. Whenever that happened, I was like,
I thought it was funny whenever the hospital called, and I was like, oh, she's dead. Like they're calling her because she's dead, and then she's like, oh, well, good news. she's doing well. And in my head, I was like, why would they call you if she's doing well? Like they usually
Why
they'd
would they
call
not?
if they're dead. Yeah, but usually they'd call in movies and most likely like when they're dead. So when she
Y'all
said that, I was
catch
like,
a lot
okay.
more things than
And
I
then
do. I just go with it.
and then she was like about to puke, and I was like, I knew it. I was like, yes, she's dead. Oh, and the callback to whenever they also said that Ransom, his first name's Hugh, and only the housekeepers call him that.
I
Yeah.
love
That's what she said to Marta. Yeah, I was like, oh my god, that's so clever.
And then whenever they revealed
But
that she gave him the right
I
medicine
also
at the end and he killed himself for nothing, dude, that like hurt my heart. Like you could see the heartbreak in her eyes, and I was like,
that was
oh,
sad.
bruh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
Well,
was so sad.
well,
It made me
he was gonna die anyways.
no.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, because if she didn't get him mixed up, then she would have actually poisoned him.
no. Well, I mean, but she gave him the right one anyways. Like he was fine. If he would
No.
have, if he would have, it was like the detective said at the end. If he would have just let her call the ambulance, they would have came and would have been like, yeah, he's fine.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm saying, kind of either way, he was gonna die. I think.
Well, it hurts more when you realize how much like obviously he hired her just to help around, but he actually grew a strong like friendship with her, and
He straight up said that he like basically left everything for her over his family because he valued her more over his family at that point.
yeah, well, not only that, it's just it really showed you how corrupt the family was, just trying because the whole time all of their instances are just them trying to get in power with him or get some money from him.
Right.
And that's what they just wanted the will all along. But with her, like she truly showed that she just cares about him. Like that's it. Like she actually cares about him genuinely, and she has such a pure heart towards him that I was like actually like so excited when they were like the will's for you. I was like,
Me
yes,
too.
yes. I was like, yes.
I wasn't expecting that at all.
I also thought it was weird. I didn't suspect him, but I thought it was weird when Ransom was like laughing when the will was going towards them, which I only thought because he wasn't getting the will, so he was just like laughing, like, haha.
Well, I thought
all got screwed.
Yeah, I was about to say, I thought that was normal. Like, it fit his character description up to that point.
Trying to think.
I don't have much to
And
say
the
because there
family-
was nothing wrong. Like, the whole movie was just a bunch of high points. Like,
Yeah, I'm just trying to say stuff I loved about it, I guess. The whole concept of Marta's mother also being an immigrant. You know, I also love that she gets all the money now because like she can actually help her family.
Yeah.
And then like it's probably the last thing, but one of the greatest scenes I liked was the ending scene when she showed that she was on top, like on the balcony.
Mhm.
She was like staring down at them, and they were all just like quivering at her power. They were just like, "Fuck you."
right? Bro, that family didn't deserve crap.
They really didn't. Even that one girl that tried to act like her friend, but like told the family that
Like-
her mom was illegal.
Mhm.
I hated her.
Yeah, I was like, "F you, dude."
I was like,
Yeah.
God, you're like the fakest person I've ever seen. You're worse than the
Yeah.
neo-Nazi that they had raised.
Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, that kid. That's funny. But yeah, no, it's a fantastic movie. Highly recommend it.
So do I. But my spoiler rating, I'd probably stick at a 9.
Yeah, I'm sticking with the 9.
At this point, I don't know what a 10 looks like. Because there's no flaws with this, and I feel like it couldn't have done anything better.
So give it a 10.
So I'm going to give it a 10.
Nice.
This movie was a 10. It's because I really...
You're like rethinking existence. This movie was
I said it happily, though. Like,
this was a 10.
I'm glad it's a 10. Like,
This was a 10.
like I said, I was really thrown off by the fact that they made the most, like, outwardly, like, the one you would suspect the most be the actual killer, because mystery movies don't do that. They always throw this red herring character out where it's like, they fit every description. Oh crap! Crap!
And
then out in
and
left
then
field, it's the graveyard digger that just spectated and hated him. you know.
Right.
But this movie
the
went with it.
yeah,
Like they were like, this guy was obviously blatantly the most aggressive, hateful person that would want to do it, and then they made him do it, and the audience never expected them to actually go through with it.
it's like every mystery movie, they freaking, like you said, like a red herring, and they're just like, oh, the dog did it. At the end, oh, you forgot about this person, and they're like, oh.
Yeah, because I want to say they gave you the red herring with Marta, but I feel like they never made you believe she was the actual killer. You know, at least they didn't
Yeah,
convince me like she was
I
the one who
thought
did it.
yeah.
I thought so.
Oh, I felt so bad for her when they were
Guys,
like, oh, we helped you, so you should give up the will. We helped you all your time here.
dang, I'm super excited because I have a movie suggestion for y'all, and I think you'll love it. It's not as good as this, but it's just plot twist after plot twist. So I'm excited.
Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, but they're making a sequel too.
Really?
Oh, I'm so hyped.
I don't know where they would go with it, but yeah.
I wonder if it's just gonna follow
That
the
would be
detective
really cool.
around and just like bounce family to family, but follow the detective.
Yeah, that would make sense.
That would be. Actually, I love that idea.
Sorry, my cat just jumped on my chair. They're like, right.
But yeah,
Your cat can shut up. No, I'm just
God, I'm so excited for it.
Yeah. All right. So if you guys enjoyed, like Noah said earlier, if you listened all the way through, definitely drop a like and a 5-star rating, because if you listened all the way through, that means we're doing something right. And check us out on all platforms. We're on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, a bunch of other smaller ones that are just for podcasts. Check out our Instagram and our Twitter at the Hooligan Hangout for more
Yes,
updates
sir.
and future projects, such as our next short film that's coming up soon, hopefully. And yeah, say hi to your moms for us.